What we're seeing in the United States right now is absolutely crazy. I cannot believe that the mainstream media are just not even reporting about this. What's going on with Toyota, Honda, and then Ford in comparison is absolutely fascinating. Ford's electric car sales up 68%. Ford are just going to keep ramping production of EVs, so are General Motors, even more so are Tesla. At the same time, what are Japanese automakers doing in the United States when it comes to electric vehicle production? Jack all. Their gasoline-powered sales are down and they have nothing, and I mean nothing, to replace them with. And they won't for years. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Here are the stats, here are the numbers. But first, thank you so much for your support. It's been amazing. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. Really appreciate what you guys do. If you want to support us on Patreon, I'll put a link in the description. YouTube members, if you want to see some of our videos in advance, you can become a YouTube member, and I'll put a link to that page as well. Now, Automotive News says that improving inventory helped US sales at Ford Motor Company jump 22% in February, while Hyundai, Kia, and Subaru advanced for the 7th straight month. Now, I am sick and tired of hearing this improving inventory, bad inventory. It's about inventory this. You know, do we talk about Tesla like that? Do we just say, oh, Tesla sales are bad because of their inventory? Do we say that about, it's not reasonable. There's enough about this inventory nonsense. I mean, what about Honda's inventory? Why is it Honda sales have gone down for 6 straight months in a row? Because their inventory just keeps on going down? No, it's all baloney. I've been saying this for more than a year now. This stuff about inventory, chip shortages, chip suppliers, this is the kind of stuff that CEOs just say, why are you guys doing so bad? Chip shortage. Yeah, there's not enough chips to go around. If we had the right inventory, then in China, our sales would be so high. What about what some of the Japanese automakers are saying? Oh, in China, we don't have enough inventory. In China, the Chinese are being racist towards our cars now. That's what they're saying. I mean, excuses, right? Volume dropped for the 2nd consecutive month for Toyota in the US. Many of you believe that Toyota are going to have a bounce back year. Sorry, my friends, this is not the year. And in fact, there won't be a Toyota bounce back. This is the beginning of a long, steady decline for Toyota in North America. They don't have any EV production lines anywhere in the world. They don't. They use existing gasoline production lines to make the BZ4X, which no one wants. And they don't have anything to replace it until maybe at best 2026. That's at least 3 years away. Maybe more. I'd say more like 4 to 5 years away. Ford, on the other hand, and Tesla, well, in particular here for the month of February, we know what Ford sales are. We know that they have had a big improvement, 23% increase to 153,218. Lincoln deliveries rose 4% to 6,159. And Ford's electric vehicle sales rocketed by 68%, only 3,523. But this is still a pretty good number in comparison to most of their rivals. This was a 3rd straight monthly gain for Ford and for Lincoln. Ford division's biggest sellers all racked up double-digit gains, which is impressive considering the F-150 Lightning has had production completely paused for several weeks because of some battery issues. Now, F-Series up 22% to 55,000, including 1,336 Lightnings. Bronco SUV deliveries more than doubled to 12,000. Sales of the Explorer doubled to 19,000. The Maverick pickup jumped 89%. I actually think that it's possible Americans are starting to think of Toyota as not being the so-called green company they've always marketed themselves as. They're starting to recognize that actually a lot of that is greenwashing. Maybe they're moving away from Toyota for that reason. And Honda in particular, I mean, look at the recent surveys we've seen, right? The surveys say, what do they say? Well, they say that Toyota and Honda are losing more customers to Tesla than any other brands in the world. Ford doesn't release details on fleet shipments, but TrueCar estimates the automaker's commercial, government, and daily rental business rose 41% to 45,630 vehicles last month. Sales at Toyota were down a further 2.5%, with volume down 3.6%. Now, Lexus had a rare bright spot. sales were up 6.1%, arresting a 12-month decline. In other words, Lexus sales were down 12 months in a row. That's quite a record, they just said. The Toyota brand's top sellers posted mixed results. Camry up 55%, Corolla up 7.7%, RAV4 down 13%, 4Runner down 50%, Highlander down 18%. What I find really interesting is, if you look at February's car sales in the United States, there's only 2 car brands which are down. Only 2 brands across every brand in the United States. Guess what 2 brands they were? Honda and Toyota. Are you surprised? I'm sure you're not. Toyota said it had 134,361 cars and light trucks in US dealer inventory at ports or in transit at the close of February, up slightly from 130,000 at the end of January and 110,000 a year ago. So, Toyota are jumping on the bandwagon, and they've been doing this for a long time now, of saying, oh, no, it's just because we've got cars stuck in inventory. This is the world's biggest automaker. I'm not buying it. What about Honda? Well, Honda reported a 1.4% decline in February, with the Honda division down 3%. Acura was up by 12%, but Honda as a brand in the United States have had a dramatic decline over the past 12 months, not just in the US, but also in Australia, in a number of other countries. Honda is a dying car brand. Their strategy for the future is this: use General Motors' Ultium platform. That's their strategy. Do you think that's going to work well for them? Do you think GM's going to say, well, we have so many leftover Ultium platforms here. Honda, you take some off our hands. We'll make a profit by selling this platform to you. And then I'm sort of sure you can make margin by selling this to other people, even though we don't even make profit on the cars themselves. That's GM's situation. GM doesn't make a profit on EVs. Says it won't until 2025 at the earliest. Somehow Honda's going to buy these platforms, these Ultium platforms, off GM. By the way, GM's now deciding that maybe it's going to change to 4680 cell cylindrical batteries, meaning the platform and all of its many advantages are kind of moot now. And somehow this is going to work for Honda to get these old Ultium systems from General Motors. That's their strategy. Little wonder Honda's sales are down. We're down 34% last year in the US, and their sales continue to slide. I actually feel a bit sorry for Honda. I think that really they were once this great automaker, and we're now seeing them we're now seeing them as the next Nokia, the next Kodak. It's happening right now, right in front of our eyes. 3 of Honda brand's 5 biggest sellers posted double-digit declines last month. Accord down 18%. CR-V, Pilot down 11%. Civic up 2.3%. And the HR-V down 37%. Now, Honda said the same thing as they usually do. They don't have enough inventory. Sales are terrible because they just can't make enough cars fast enough. But they could a few years ago. So who knows what's going on there. Hyundai, on the other hand, had a pretty good month. Deliveries increased by 8.8% to 57,000, a February record. Kia had a good month as well. Deliveries increased 24% to a February record of 60,860, with major gains for the Ford, Sportage, Sorento, Telluride, and the Carnival. Even flagging companies like Mazda had a pretty good month. Deliveries were up 8.8% to 30,640 in February. Genesis set a record with sales increasing 21% to 4,208. And US light vehicle sales rose by 3.9 to 7.2% in February, which is it's quite different to what the automotive media, or not just the media, not just the automotive media, but the general media as well, said that the US was going to hell in a handcart. The recession was going to kill auto sales. Everything was going to be terrible this year. Brace for impact. Hasn't quite happened that way. When it comes to actual real inventory, the real numbers, they tell a very different story to what the CEOs and the presidents and the managers and the marketing gurus of all these automotive companies are telling you. Cox Automotive estimated industry stockpiles rose by 760,000 units, or 71% from a year earlier, to about 1.8 million vehicles by mid-February. Honda, Toyota, Lexus, BMW, Subaru, Kia, Porsche, and Land Rover had the highest suppliers last month. So Honda and Toyota had the highest suppliers, and yet their sales were down. And they're still using the same old excuse, not enough inventory. All of our inventory is sitting in ports. It's all, I don't know, there's not enough chips. We can't make enough cars. There's always some excuse, some reason. And there will continue to be for the foreseeable future, probably for the next 5, 6, 7 years, until those companies become shells of themselves. That's what I predict. I'll be talking more about why and how and when at Fully Charged Live in Sydney, and also Fully Charged in London in April, and Fully Charged in San Diego in October later this year. Thank you for tuning in, my friends, and I'll see you again on the next video. Bye-bye.